So we have 50 questions to run through in this session. Now the first question is, the following atoms of carbon 12, carbon 13, carbon 14, all atomic number 6, can be described as that. Okay, from the option, as you can see, we have allotropes, we have isomers, we have isotopes, and we also have isotone. And I will be pleased, I really want you to understand that it will be better for you to know what these options are, because understanding what the options are will make you to pick the correct answer. For allotrope, this is the existence of an element in the same physical state but in different forms. Examples of elements this phenomenon is seen in them include carbon. And this carbon, we have crystalline forms and we also have the amorphous form. In the crystalline form, we have something like diamond and graphite. In amorphous form, we have something like coal, coke, charcoal, carbon black, lamp black, and many more. And others that behave like this, that is, other elements that behave like this include oxygen, which we have as oxygen gas O2 and ozone gas O3. All of them are gases. You understand what we mean by same physical state. These are gases. If you go back to that carbon, you notice that all of them are solid, despite the different color they might appear to have. Other ones include alpha gray and beta white tin. We still have sulfur, which we have rhombic, monoclinic, and several other type of sulfur allotropes. That is the option A. And if you look at this, you notice that it said nothing about number, neither mass number nor atomic number. Let's go for what isomer is. Isomers are compounds that contain the same number of atoms. They have the same empirical formula but differ from each other by the way in which the atoms are arranged. If you look into this definition, it has nothing to do with atomic number nor mass number. Secondly, it is discussing about compounds, not even an element. Here we have the question containing 3 carbon symbols. Therefore, option B is removed, just like option A is removed. Let's go for option C, isotopes. Isotopes are atoms with the same number of protons but different number of neutrons. Or better said, they have the same atomic number but different mass number. If you look closely to this, you will notice it talks about number, and looking deeply, it talks of having the same atomic number, which in the question, the value 6 is the atomic number. The values as superscripts are the mass number. What I mean by the superscript is these 12, 13, and 14. You can notice they differ, which point that this is the correct option. But it will be better to look into the last option to know if actually our choice is correct. The last option is isotone. Isotone is the existence of different atoms or nuclei having the same number of neutrons. The correct answer goes to C, which is the isotopes. Let's go for question number 2. An atom X consists of 6 protons, 6 electrons, and 7 neutrons. Then they are asking us which of the following representations of the atom is correct. Now we just need to understand that the subscripts are always the atomic number, whereas the superscripts represent the mass number. Now let's look at it. The proton number is atomic number, whereas the addition of proton and neutron, which is 6 plus 7, is going to give us the mass number. Therefore, the correct answer is A, equals to 13 6x. Question number 3. How many electrons are present in 94B2+? That is barium 2+. Where the 9 there is trying to tell us that we have the mass number to be 9, but atomic number to be 4. And 2+ means that we have already lost 2 electrons. And they are asking us how many electrons are there. The total number of protons is supposed to be the total number of electrons in a neutral atom. But here, we don't have a neutral atom in this sign. Be2 plus. That means that 2 electrons has been lost. It's supposed to be 4 and 2 has been lost. Therefore, the remaining electrons that are there should be 2. Question number 4. When elements atomic number 20 combines with element atomic number 8, we will have something in this nature. Actually, look at that 20. If we have the electronic configuration, we are going to notice that the valence electron is going to be 2, pointing that the valency is 2. So we are going to have Y2 plus. And we have the Z, which is 8. By electronic configuration, we're going to have 2 C's, which the possible charge is supposed to be -2, where the valency is to be 2. Now we cross 2, 2, and we are going to have only YZ standing. Now we want to understand the element we have as 20 is from group 2, and the element we have as 8 is from group 6. And any compound formed between elements from group 1, 2 against elements 6 and 7 ion. Careful. Y is the metal. We write metal first before the non-metal. Now let's go from the option. A, equivalent compound, no. B, equivalent compound, no. It's not a covalent compound. Now let's go for C and D. We are going to have an ionic compound, YZ, where the Y serves as the metal, Z stands as the non-metal. Not the other way around. You don't write it Z, Y, because Y is a metal. We write metal first before the non-metal. Question number 5. But I need you to understand that the correct option is C. Question number 5. The boiling point of hydrogen fluoride, water, and ammonia increase in the order of D. I know you may be asking why D. If you look at the electronegativity, it's supposed to be A by electronegativity, because N is less than O and O is less than F. Bonding by hydrogen, which we call hydrogen bonding with electronegative element with small atoms. According to electronegativity, we're supposed to have ammonia being the least, water followed, then hydrogen fluoride to be the highest in bonding. But when we check through the bond type in water, compare with the fluorine and that of nitrogen, we notice that the 2 lone pairs in water is much equal to the 2 hydrogen that is coming to form the hydrogen bonding in water, making it equal number of lone pair against hydrogen, which it is not balanced in nitrogen nor balanced in fluorine. The reason why the boiling point of water is higher than that of hydrogen fluoride, whereas hydrogen fluoride bond is higher than that of ammonia. The correct and the most accurate formation is D, where we have ammonia is less than fluoride of hydrogen and fluoride of hydrogen is less than water boiling point. Question number 6. Chemicals that are produced in small quantities and with very high degree of purity are dash. That's the correct definition of what we call fine chemicals. Heavy chemicals, we normally produce it in large quantity. We are not much interested in its purity, and it is mostly used by over 95% of all chemical industries. I know you may be asking what a chemical industry is. A chemical industry is a type of industry that applies or make use of the ideas of chemistry in production of things useful for human. Question number 7. I need you to note that this question has something to do with having ideas of what we mean by mass concentration, molar concentration, and we have relationship between these two. It means that if we are to prepare 1000 centimeter cube of 0.4 moles, we are going to need 0.4 mole. So we have 1000 centimeter cube will require 0.4 moles. But if we are actually trying to prepare 300 centimeter cube, we don't know the amount in mole. Therefore, we use X. As you can see on the screen, and I will change the value, it becomes immediately as 1000 all over 300, giving me 0.4 all over X. If you make X the subject formula, you will have 0.4 times 300 all over 1000, which gives us 0.12 mode. The options here are in grams. That means that we are being asked to look at what? The mass of potassium hydroxide, and we have a relationship between mass given molar mass and mole. Therefore, using the formula, we are going to have 0.12 times 56 will give us 6.72 grams. Don't forget that there is still other ways of solving this. I believe that there are still other ways. It's not compulsory that you use this method, but this is just a simple way of making it easier for you. Check the question number 8. Metals can be stretched into wires because they are. If you look at the options, we have 4 options, and these 4 options are actually the physical properties of metals, which are ductile. They are ductile. They are good conductors of heat and electricity. They are lustrous and they are malleable. But the correct answer here is ductile, because that's the best definition of ductile, that metals are being drawn into wire. When we talk about good conductors, it means that metals allow heat, and also metal allows electric current to pass through them. When we talk about lustrous, we are talking about the shiny color of metals. And we talk about malleable, it means that metals can be beaten into desired shape. Although sometimes to beat that, we require heat. And note that beating that to a required shape does not mean that we actually want to break it. Does not mean that it breaks. We are actually the one that can break it if we want to break it. It is not like non-metal that when you are trying to hit them, they will break into pieces. Question number 9. Aluminium is used in the manufacture of aircraft because it is light and resists corrosion. Question number 10. An unsaturated solution differs from a saturated solution at a given temperature because, let's look at the options. A, cannot dissolve more solute. Unsaturated solution can dissolve more solute. Therefore, that's not the difference. B, can hold more solute than it can actually dissolve. No, what actually holds more solute that it can actually dissolve is super saturated solution. Can still dissolve more solute at that given temperature. That is the correct answer. Since it is still unsaturated, that means that it is still open for more solute to be dissolved inside it, and that's the correct option. Question number 11. Which of the following arrangements shows increasing order of reactivity of the halogens? Okay, according to halogens reactivity, it is just down the group there is a reduction in reactivity, and the first member of the group is fluorine. Therefore, we look from the option that starts with fluorine and has a greater sign. If you look at A has greater sign. That means that fluorine is greater than chlorine, and also chlorine is greater than bromine, and bromine is greater than iodine in reactivity series of the halogens. Okay, we go again for question number 12. The shape of water molecule is a linear, pyramidal, tetrahedral, and V-shape. My dear, the correct answer is V-shape. We don't need to do much, but if you look at the animation on the screen, you see how it comes to be V-shape. Question number 13. Which of the following elements would produce colored ions in aqueous solution? Okay, for you to get colored ions, we should look towards transition element. When we talk about transition element, we are talking about core transition element, not element like zinc or element like scandium. And if you look at the option given to us, it is only copper that is a transition element among all of them. That means that calcium, magnesium, and sodium will give us colorless. Question number 14. The minimum amount of energy required for effective collisions between reacting particles is known as. Let's look at the 4 options. Let's treat the options one after the other, and I believe you will make a good options. You are going to pick the correct option by yourself. Activation energy is that minimum energy required for a reaction to occur, and for a reaction to occur, there must be effective collisions between reacting particles. You need to know that. Bond energy is the energy required to form or break a bond. Kinetic energy is the energy possessed by a body in motion. Potential energy is the energy possessed by a body. Base on position or height. I choose option A because it is the most accurate. And if you compare the definition I just dropped with the statement over there, you notice that the minimum amount of energy required for effective collisions between reacting particles is accurate definition of activation energy. Question number 15. The bond formed between water and hydrogen ion to form the hydrozonium ion H3O plus is dash. The options we have here is A, dative, B, covalent, C, electrovalent, D, ionic. Okay, before I choose the answer, I want you to understand that electrovalent and ionic bonding is just the same thing. It's just a different way of calling it. Therefore, we'll be fighting between A, B, since we know that C, D cannot be the answer. But note that electrovalent and ionic bonding is a type of bond in which there is an actual transfer of electrons, where one of the atoms gives out electron or donates electron, whereas the other accepts electron or gain electron. And that is not what we are discussing here, because here hydrogen has already lost the electron. It doesn't have any electron. It's coming to bond with water that has lone pair that is waiting for any atom that has nothing with electron that can come over and bond with it freely. Now let's go for the definition of dative. Dative bond has to do with sharing of electron pairs contributed by one of the two atoms. When we talk about covalent bond, it has to do with sharing of electron pairs contributed equally by the two atoms. Now, if you look at this, you see that the correct option, as you can see with the animation on the screen, you will see that water reacting with hydrogen ion, forming hydrozonium ion, is actually a dative bonding. Question number 16. An element X forms the following oxide, H2O, SO, and SO2. This phenomenon illustrates the law of dash. Conservation of mass is a law that states that no substance is formed during a chemical reaction, neither is there any destroyed. The same thing is more applicable to the word conservation of energy, but that's not what we are discussing. Definite proportion means that any pure sample, the components are in the same ratio they appear in other pure samples of that compound. We pick option D because multiple proportion means that it is possible for two elements A and B to form different types of compounds. That is what we have over there. How many moles of oxygen will contain 1.204 times 10 raised to the power 24 molecules? If you are assuming that Avogadro's constant is equal to 6.02 times 10 raised to the power 23, I need you to understand that 1 mole is equal to 6.02 times 10 raised to the power 23. An unknown mole, which is S mole of magnesium, is also going to give us this value they dropped here, 1.204 times 10 raised to the power 24. If introducing my divisions, I'm going to have 1 all over x equal to 6.02 times 10 raised to the power 23 all over 1.204 times 10 raised to the power 24. Now, making s a subject formula, I'm having my answer to be 1 times 1.204 times 10 raised to the power 24 all over 6.02 times 10 raised to the power 23, which gives the answer 2 when you use your calculator. Question number 18. Which of the following statements about solids is correct? We are trying to look at what statement about solid is correct here. Let's look at option A. Solid particles are less orderly than those of a liquid. No. If you look at solid particles, you will understand that they have a well-arranged particle. That is even the reason why anywhere one of them goes, the other follows. But it's not the same thing with liquid. Some part of the liquid will be going to the left, some part will be going to the right. Therefore, option A is wrong. For option B, solids have lower densities than liquid. We will pause here. Let's leave this for now. I will come back to it. Let's go for option C. Solid particles have greater kinetic energies than those of liquid. No. Liquid can move more free than the solid, in the sense that if I leave a little drop of liquid here, it's possible that they can translate. But if I leave a solid, the highest solid can do is to do what? vibrate. Therefore, that option C is wrong. Option D, solid particles cannot be easily compressed. Now, we know that solid particle cannot be easily compressed. Therefore, we go back to the option B, solids have lower density than liquid. We will say no. The correct answer goes to D. Question number 19. Which of the following apparatus can be used to measure a specific volume of a liquid accurately? We are talking about a specific volume. And beaker, conical flasks, measuring cylinder are all graduated. That means that they can actually measure different volumes. But pipette measures only 20 centimeter cube or 25 centimeter cube, which is a specific volume. Option D is the most accurate. Question number 23. The energy which accompanies the addition of an electron to an isolated gaseous atom is A. Atomization, electronegativity, electron affinity, and ionization. The correct answer is electron affinity. You may ask why. Atomization actually has to do with formation of atom. That means that that particular species was once an ion and it might have gained electron or have given out electron to go back and become atom. That is atomization. When we talk about electronegativity, what we are discussing here is the ability of an element to accept electron. Ability to accept electron. But when we go for electron affinity, this is the energy accompanying the addition of an electron to an isolated gaseous one. That's the main definition of electron affinity. That is, the question is actually the main definition of electron affinity. Ionization is formation of ion. Question number 24. An aqueous solution of ammonium tetrasulfate C is going to be acidic in water. Yes, it's acidic. You see that we are going to have a weak base against a strong acid, and the strong acid will overshadow the weak base. That gives it acidic nature, as you can see on the screen. Question number 25. When ammonium chloride is dissolved in water, the container feels cold to touch. This actually implies A. The process is endothermic. It is only endothermic that we are going to feel cold. That means it's trying to absorb heat that is around the environment. That means that that place will feel cold. Question number 26. The pH of four solutions M, N, Q, and R are 2, 6, 8, and 11 respectively. Which of the following deduction about the solution is correct? You should understand that concentration is important in this question. So let's go for option A. The pH of N is increased when the solution is diluted. The pH of Q is increased when the solution is evaporated. C, M is the most alkaline solution, and R is the most acidic solution. Let's first of all remove the wrong ones and look at the ones that are confusing. We have option C and D. M is the most alkaline solution. No, alkaline solution supposed to be R. R is the most acidic solution, where D is supposed to be what? M. Therefore, option C and D are already gone. We are going to battle option A and B. Now look at this. The pH of N is increased when the solution is diluted. If the solution is diluted, that means that we are adding more of water to it. That means that the number of hydrogen ion present in that solution is now by ratio reducing. For instance, if the concentration was 1 mole of hydrogen against 1 dm cube, now you add more water to it, you're going to have 1 mole of hydrogen against 2 dm cube. That means that the concentration of hydrogen is reduced. And if the concentration of hydrogen is reducing, it means that it is increasing its pH value, moving away from being acidic as it's supposed to be, going towards becoming neutral or even becoming basic. That is why option A is correct answer. Check on the screen for more explanation on this. Question number 27. Consider the following reaction equation. As you can see, the reaction is actually a show of neutralization reaction, because esterification reaction is a type of chemical reaction where an alkanol react with alkanoic acid in the presence of concentrated acid to form an alkanoate and water. And we are not seeing any alkanol, and we are not seeing any alkanoic acid there. Therefore, we are not using a certification. Option B said hydrolysis, where we know hydrolysis involves splitting the molecule of water into hydrogen plus and OH minus. Okay, as you can see over, but that is splitting. That means it's supposed to be an opposite of this reaction. If you actually wanted to make this, it's supposed to be a reverse reaction of this. Therefore, hydrolysis is being removed. In this hydrolysis, we can have something that when that is being broken, the particle can actually react with those broken part of water. We can have that in hydrolysis of protein to give us amino acid, or hydrolysis of oil to give us soap. We go for question number 28. The refreshing characteristics test of fizzy drinks is due to the presence of carbon 4. Okay, we go for question number 29. Chemical equilibrium is attained when what? Let's look at options. All the reactants have been completely used up. No, that is not when we have equilibrium. The reaction goes to completion. No, that is a finishing, not equilibrium. The concentration of reactant and product remain constant. That means that no new substance is being formed at that time. Rather, we are having equal rate of formation of product and product. Therefore, that's the correct option. Which of the following factors will affect the rate of the reaction represented by the following equation? As you can see the equation, as far as we have one solid there, pressure is off. And because of one solid here, we can make use of nature of reactant, temperature, and concentration. Therefore, we are picking option 2, 3, and 4 only. Question number 31. On evaporation to dryness, 350 centimeter cube of saturated solution of salt Z gave 55.5 gram of salt. If we assume that Z is 101, what would be the solubility of the salt? Therefore, you should understand that the formula for calculating solubility is mass of the solute in gram divided by the mass of the solvent in gram multiplies 1000. This will give you the solubility. So the mass of solute is 55.5 gram. Mass of solvent is 350 gram. Since 1 centimeter cube of water is 1 gram, so we have 55.5 all over 350 times 1000 will give us 158.57 gram per dm cube. But we are not asked to get this in gram per dm cube. Rather, our option comes here in mole, which means that that is what we are looking for per mole. Therefore, what we just need to do is convert 158.57 to mole by dividing it by the molar mass. Therefore, when we divide 158.57 gram per dm cube by the molar mass of Z, which is 101, we have 1.57 mole per dm cube, which points to option A as the correct option. Which of the following salt, when dissolved in water, will form a solution that will change blue litmus paper to red? The option goes to B, ammonium chloride, because ammonium chloride, when dissolved in water, hydrochloric acid will form and ammonium hydroxide will form. Now, when we know that ammonium hydroxide, which we don't actually have ammonium hydroxide, we call it aqueous ammonia. Now, this aqueous ammonia is not a strong base, it's a weak base. Whereas hydrochloric acid is a strong acid. Where this hydrochloric acid that is a strong acid will overshadow the weak base, that will make this litmus paper to turn to red. Question number 33. Which of the following bonds are broken when ethanol is boiled? Ethanol is mostly a normal covalent bond, but there is one thing beautiful about it, the hydrogen bond, that is the OH, as you can see on the screen. The OH there makes it a little bit different from other covalent bond. Therefore, what we are actually trying to break is the hydrogen bonding. Question number 34. A compound with molecular formula CH2OOH is possibly dash. We have one possible answer for this. If we are to go with this, we are going for a carboxylic acid. The reason why we will not use a carbohydrate, in carbohydrate we must have a water ratio against carbon, and here we don't have a water ratio against carbon. And alkanol, is supposed to have at least 2 carbon for us to have two O bonds. That is, we must have at least two carbon to have two oxygen bonding. But here we only having one carbon, therefore we cannot make use of it as a Alkanol. And an ester must have at least two carbon. That is for ester. Therefore, option B is the correct option. Question number 35. The quality of electricity required to discharge 1 mole of univalent ion is. The correct option is C. 36. Chlorine water is used as a bleaching agent because it is an oxidizing agent. That's the correct option. Which of the following substances is a non-electrolyte? A non-electrolyte means that it does not conduct electricity. Where we know all bases conduct electricity, all salts conduct electricity, and all acid conduct electricity. The rest don't. Let's look at them when we talk about compound. The rest don't. Now look at them. C is the correct option because it is not salt, it is not base, it is not an acid. That is an organic compound. It's a sample of a carbohydrate. Question number 38. The oxidation number of sulfur is +4. If you look closely, you will get the answer to be B. As you can see on the screen, how I get them one after the others. Question number 39. Consider the following ionic equation. Okay, the value of N in the equation is dash. Okay, look over here. This is chromate 6, and we have 2 chromates there. That means that 6 times 2 will give us 12 electrons. And the other one is chromate 3, and it has 2 of them. That is going to give us 6. 12 minus 6 is supposed to give us 6. N will give us 6, as you can see on the screen. Question number 40. Consider the following half-cell reactions. Okay, they ask us to find the overall equation for the reaction. Just pick ALS, guided with Cu2 plus aqueous, then Al3 plus aqueous, cool solid. Remember that we have 3 electrons here, we have 2 electrons. If we can change it, that means that we're supposed to have Al appearing 2 times. Therefore, we have 2 Al, whereas the copper should appear by 3. C is the correct option. Now we go for 41. Amino acids are obtained from proteins by hydrolysis. I just say something that looks more like this in the previous statement I made. That is, earlier I made it clear that proteins hydrolysis will give us amino, and this is a question coming over here. Question number 42. When a compound S is heated with concentrated tetrodosulfate acid, it produces an alkene. X is an dash. Okay, when a compound is heated with concentrated, we are going to look into a preparation of a compound, and the preparation of the compound we are talking about is supposed to be the alkene. The compound we are going to produce, that means that we are going to use Alkanol. It's only Alkanol that can do that for us. Ripening of fruit is hastened by using Ethene. 44. The compound that makes palm wine taste sour after exposure to the air for a few days is nothing more than ethanoic acid. Question number 45. Which of the following compound is a secondary alkanols? Secondary alkanol must have their OH, that is the hydroxy, not at the right hand nor the left hand, must be inside. But the alpha carbon must not have 3 carbon attached to it. Now if you look at it, the only one that's solved that is 2. Therefore we look for B equals to 2. As you can see on the screen make it easier for you to understand what I mean here. Question number 46. Consider the following reaction equation. Okay, the volume of oxygen at STP that will be required to burn 14 grams of ethane is dash. Okay, look over here. 1 mole of ethane requires 3 moles of oxygen to produce 2 moles of carbon 4 oxide. Our comparison is on the ethene and oxygen at STP. So we have 1 mole of ethene will give us 12 plus 12 plus 4, which is 28 grams. That is to say, when I say 1 mole of ethene, we are talking about 28 grams of what? Ethene. And 14 grams of ethene actually means 14 all over 28 grams per mole equals to 0.5 mole. That means that if it is 0.5 mole, you are going to have 1 mole of carbon 4 oxide produced. But that's not how I want to solve it here. I want to go with a simpler way. Look over here. 28 grams of ethene produces 3 times 22.4 dm cube, because 1 mole of ethene will produce 3 moles, and each mole has 22.4 dm cube at STP, that is each mole of gases. Okay, we go again. 14 gram of ethene will produce 3 times that 22.4 dm cube times 14 all over 28. The answer gives us 33.6 dm cube. Let's go for question number 47. Which of the following sources of energy contribute to the greenhouse effect? Nothing else than natural gases. 48. A consequence of global warming is flooding. You don't need to check more. 49. Which of the following metals is common to both brass and bronze? Copper. 50. The alkanol obtained from the production of soap is called trihydric alkanol. The name is actually glycerol. Thank you very much for watching this video, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to make sure that you share this video for your friends to be able to watch and learn. As you are also enjoying this, make sure that others enjoy this. We all want the success of Africans.